All right, let's start. Are they very noisy? Can you hear them? Perfect. All right, so the next one, this is just for you, sweetheart. What's her name? I keep forgetting, sorry. What's your name? Tanvi, right? Tanvi. Tanvi, this is just for you. Make sure that your video is on and your microphone is muted. Make sure you rename yourself if you have not, but you have done that. Use the chat function if you want to ask a question, share feedback. If you need to go to the toilet or anything, just use the chat function to message me privately. All right. And always be mindful. And the most important thing is tuition class is the place for you to make mistakes. So don't be scared about getting your answers right, because the focus here is not about getting it right. The focus is about learning. All right. And in order to learn, you make mistakes. So if you're making any mistakes, it's okay. That's where you learn. And where you do not want to make mistakes is during your PSLE exam. Okay. Let's move on. Today, we're going to do vocabulary editing and situational writing. So let's dive in. Oh my God. I'm sorry, guys. This is
Thank you for the answer. First answer B.
silly goose. Why are you being such a silly goose? Hang on. So I taught yesterday. So that was
Is there gonna be black screen?
Sorry, what?
Black screen.
Dun, dun,
There was
dun.
no black screen, you silly goose.
I want it. It's so fun.
No, I want to teach. I got lots to cover today.
Why did you
But
give us
every time,
used
like
copy?
every time you just there's a black screen. It's so fun,
But
bro.
Penny helped me to find out what was the black screen, right?
Yeah. It's why did you give us a used screen?
Okay, this is better. All right. Okay, so Tanmay, that is yours, darling. And as I always ask you, so since it's yours, you want to give me, could you read the first 3 lines for me?
Okay. Finn ran as fast as his legs could carry him through the thicket and into a wide clearing with pine trees on each side. Nearby, he could hear the howls of the wolves as they closed in around him, cursing himself under his breath for straying too far from his fellow campers.
That was your last sentence had a wrong pause. You sounded like cursing himself from under his breath for straying too far from fellow camp. It sounded as though you're going to continue. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you have to pause for that. Okay, so straying. So you have this idea that is staying too far from the fellow campers. So even without looking at your 4 MCQ answers, all right, you roughly know that straying has got this idea about moving away far from the fellow campus. Okay, so guys, sometimes as PSLE students, you are so quick, all right, you just want to get the answers right. What you do is you look at the thing, you go to your 4 distractors or your options, 4 options, and you immediately zero in. Don't
Some
do
people would put wondering instead of wandering.
yes, exactly.
Wondering.
So what I want you to use is, what are these called? What am I underlining? These are called your
Contextual clues.
Thank you. These are called your contextual clues, all right? You call this context. Context means the situation. So you're using the situation, the context, to find clues. So straying, something to do too far from. So anything to do with too far from means this idea about moving around. You know what I mean?
What does C mean? The option C mean?
Gallivanting. All right. So gallivanting has this idea of moving very for pleasure, moving slowly for pleasure. So I'm gallivanting around.
Just strolling.
Yeah, could you say strolling? Yeah, in a way you could say that if you want. Just give me a second, let me Tanmay, could you find out the meaning for me for wandering and wandering, even though they
Okay.
pronounce similar, they're slightly different. Could you find out that for me, darling?
Wandering difference. Should I find the difference meaning? Wandering refers to the state of curiosity. Wandering refers, the one with the A, refers to the physical movement without a specific destination or purpose.
All right, so this idea about moving aimlessly, could I say it's moving aimlessly, darling?
Yes.
All right, so wandering is about this idea about moving aimlessly.
Wandering refers to a state of curiosity.
All right, so you're curious about what's happening.
Yes.
All right, and what does this moving means? What you all know, I don't need to explain what it's moving. What is gallivanting? Sorry.
It's moving around, walking around, like,
This idea about traveling around for pleasure.
yeah, for
All right, so this
leisure.
idea, so this idea that I walked around the city, I was gallivanting. All right, so based on this, A, B, and C, Tanmay, what is the answer?
B.
He was wandering too far. So moving away too far from his fellow campers. Thank you. So the answer is B. You guys already knew because I showed it. Silly me, but yeah. Guys, I know I only teach you guys once a week, but if I was your English teacher in your respective schools, what I would have done in January itself is gotten you guys to buy a little book, all right, a small little book, and label it as vocabulary, all right? And under that, write down all the words that you come across.
I already have a book like that.
Well, that's perfect. So what you should be doing, Tanmay, now is adding these words to that list. Because it's one thing to know a word, but it's another to be able to use it. You may know 50,000 words or 5 million words, but how many do you often use? So if you want to improve your English, you need to start using words that are not, that you normally don't use. All right. So instead of saying he moved away, now you can say he strayed away, or I was gallivanting in the city. So increase, how should I say, increase your scope of vocabulary, increase your toolbox, all right, with more words, all right, and that's really going to help you for your writing. All right, let's move on. Number two, who's number two? Pinny. Pinny, could you read that one sentence for me, darling? He knew that.
He knew that he had to keep moving to avoid his pursuers.
All right. And then continue.
If only he could make it back to base camp, there would be help waiting.
All right. So this idea about pursuers, and what is he doing?
Avoid.
So definitely they are not someone, would you avoid someone who's pleasant? No, right? So there's this idea that pursuers has got a very negative connotations. Okay, this is one skill that I try to teach my P6 students. If you come across a word that you have never ever seen, or you've seen this word, you have read about it, but you don't really know what's the meaning, one way you can do is ask yourself, is it a positive? Does it have a positive connotation? Or does it have a negative connotation? It may not work in all cases, but that is like, it might help you about 70% of the time. So pursuers have this idea of he's avoiding them, all right? Avoiding them. So in this context, in this particular passage, it's most probably something negative. And who do you think these pursuers are? Penny?
I feel like sea hunters.
Are you sure?
Wolves.
Look.
Oh no, man. It's not predator. Oh, wolves. Okay, then
It's also written at the
A.
last paragraph.
Yeah, right. Here, the house of the wolves as they closed in around him. What does closed in means? They came very close to him already. Am I right? So in order to avoid his pursuers, so he's referring to who? The wolves. So Penny, so guys, what I'm trying to teach you is look at the way my thought process is working. What I'm doing right now is I'm modeling my thought process. I'm showing you when you come for vocabulary, rather than, oh, pursuers, let's look at the four options. Let's try. No. You want to be dead sure. You want to make sure that you choose an option that is 100% the correct one. So before you even go up to your four options, because do you know why I'm teaching you? Let me just stop share and tell you this. This is a skill I teach even for my Sec 4 students, all right? And they always grateful to me. Do not look at your four distractors. Why? They do exactly what they do. They distract you. So if you do not know what is pursuers and you go and look at the first four, you're going to be like, oh crap, oh shit, I don't know what it is. So don't look at your four distractors. Look at the context. Give yourself unpack the meaning of it. Okay, it is pursuers. I don't know who the hell that is. I don't know what the hell that is, but he's avoiding. So definitely, it's definitely negative. He's someone who's most probably avoiding. But let's read the passage above. Oh, it's the wolves. So most probably he's referring to the wolves. Okay, so I have this idea that it's wolves and it's something negative. Now that you've got a better idea of what that is, then look at your four distractors. Some of y'all must say, Miss Gloria, this is so easy for y'all to read. The words that comes up for PSLE is so easy. It might. But for the actual PSLE, what if there are words that you have never seen before? The strategy that I'm teaching now is going to be a good headache. You got that? Shall we move on? Alrighty. Sorry, Penny, back to you. Could you tell me what are predators, followers, hunters, and quarries? Sweetie?
A predator is an animal.
Sorry, Pranish, get ready for your 4 options for number 3. Who's doing number 4? Xiang Kun, right? No, Xiang Kun is doing 4. Xiang Kun, get ready for your 4. And number 5 is Vihan. Vihan, get ready for 5. All right, continue. Penny, what is predators? What is followers? What is hunters?
A predator is an animal that hunts, kills, and eats other animals.
Okay, animals that hunt. Followers?
A follower is someone who has a great interest in something.
Mhm. And basically follows you around, right? Hunters?
Hunters are a hunter is a person or an animal that hunts animals for food or for sport.
All right, so quite clear. Animals that hunt, animals that hunt. What about quarries?
Quarries is a person or an animal being hunted or looked for.
So being hunted, right? So the opposite of a predator is a
Quarry or
quarry,
prey.
and another word it starts with P, prey.
Prey.
Are you a prey? Are you a predator? A prey is someone that is being eaten. A predator is the one who's doing the eating. All right, thank you. So in this case,
When
what's the answer?
When I searched for quarry, it said that a large artificial hole in the ground where stone, sand
Oh,
is
that's the stone quarry.
Are you using Cambridge?
yeah.
Scroll down.
You'll see more. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm. Thanks, Pinny. All right, Pinny. So what's the answer here? So who's the pursuers here? Is this predators, followers, hunters, or quarries?
It can't. I don't think it's a hunter. It's usually a person.
Mhm.
Follower.
Really?
I don't think
I would rule out B and C because
B
they
and
are,
D because
it can't be, all right, because they are the receiving, right?
a
Okay.
bit positive. So
Uh,
it's A then.
Do you think it's A? Keep moving his predators?
Yeah.
All right, in this context, even though predators are animals that hunt, all right, in this context, we are looking at them as hunters. The wolves in this context are seen as their
I
hunters.
see.
Yeah, so the answer is actually C. All right. So predators in this context is animals that hunt other animals. So since this is a person, you would say more of a C. So the answer is C. All right, number 3. Let's go to Pranush. Pranush, could you read that one sentence for me? Or 2 sentences for me, please? Sweetie?
Sorry, I was on mute. A flurry of grey darted into the edge of the clearing, and then another and another.
So immediately you don't know what is darted, but this is something that is like, it's happening again and again. So most probably it's got something to do with speed, right? Again and again and again. So I roughly get that. All right, continue. Finn's heart sank. All right.
Finn's heart sank. He unshouldered his backpack, figuring that it was his only method of defense.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for stopping there. Unshouldered. That's a nice word. A lot of P6 students don't use that. Unshouldered his backpack. Basically, took off his backpack. All right. So darted. So this is idea about it moving. So you know it has to be a flurry of game move. How do you know it moved? Because it's again and again and again. But how did that movement was? Was that movement slow? Was that movement fast? Right. So that's where we're gonna come. So could you please tell me? I think short is pretty easy. What about scuttle, sprinted, and dash? Give me the meaning.
Scuttle means to run hurriedly or furtively with short, quick steps.
So has this idea about hurried and always is short and small steps. All right, sprinted.
Sprinter run at full speed over a short distance.
Dashed.
Dashed is hold up. Run or travel somewhere in a great hurry.
Actually, dash is the idea about very fast, right?
Short is
Right?
they didn't mention it here about running or something.
Yes, Penny.
Contextual clues. The flurry of grey is the wolves. So it
Yep.
can't be shot because you can't shoot a wolf.
Yeah, correct.
A wolf can't be shot from a bullet.